Hey grade 7, welcome to another edition of Mr. B Teaches Math, and today folks what we're going to be looking at is something called greatest common factor, otherwise known as GCF. So the goal today is to be able to find the greatest common factor of two or more numbers. Basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you three different methods. The one method is going to be to list factors, the second method is going to be to use repeated division, and then a third way I'm going to show you a bit of a modified repeated division method. That's going to look similar to repeated division. So just find the one that you like and maybe become comfortable using that one. Ultimately on a test, I may need to ask you which one, or ask you to show that you understand each of the different ones, but ultimately you should find one that you feel comfortable with. Just by way of definition of greatest common factor, it's the largest factor that two or more numbers have in common. This is the thing that is called greatest common factor. So when we list factors, here's basically how it works. If we say, okay, I'm going to try and find the greatest common factor of 24 and 36. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to start listing out the factors. So I know it's 1 and 24, and then 2 and 12, and then 3 and 8, and then 4 and 6. And I have a bit of a space because I decided to use the factor rainbow, which we've talked about over the past couple of days. Okay, so those are all the factors of 24. Now if I'm finding all the factors of 36, I know I get 1 and 36, I get 2 and 18, I get 3 and 12, I get 4 and 9, and then 6 in the middle, and then I'll just join those up together in a smaller and smaller factor rainbow. So basically what I do is to find the greatest common factor, I look on both lists and see where the biggest number on each list has. So in this case, both lists, the biggest number that occurs on both lists is 12. So then we use this nice little symbol, looks like 3 dots in a triangle. We say therefore the GCF of 24 and 36 is 12. Okay, so that's the first method. That is showing or listing factors. Okay, the second method that we're going to talk about is by repeated division. And so the way that works, I'll use the same numbers. Let's say that we're looking for 24 and 36. So we know the answer is 12. We've found that out already. But I'm going to use repeated division. So I'm going to have 24, and then I'm going to do my division. So 2 goes into 24 12 times, 2 goes into 12 6 times, and then 2 goes into 6 3 times. So it's so what I end up having is 2 times 2 times 2 times 3. That's the prime factorization. That's repeated division to get it all the way down to primes. Now, for 36, 2 goes into 36 18 times, 2 goes into 18 9 times, 2 will not go into 9, 3 will, and it'll go in 3 times. So those are all the prime numbers, the prime factors for 36, 2 times 2 times 3 times 3, or 2 squared times 3 squared. Now, here's what I do. I look on both lists for numbers that are repeated. So there's a 2 that gets repeated on both lists. There is another 2 that gets repeated on both lists. And there is a 3 that gets repeated on both lists. Now what I do with that information is I take those numbers, so there's the 2, and then the 2, and then the 3, and I multiply them together. And when I multiply 2 times 2 times 3, I get 12. And then so I use my fancy little 3 dots. Therefore, the GCF of 24 and 36 is 12, period. Now, this next one, modified repeated division, this was just shown to me the other day by a student of mine, and I thought this was one of the coolest things I've seen in math for grade 7s in a number of years. And so the way it works is I'm going to get both the numbers, and I'm just going to put them a little bit apart. And so I have 24 and 36. They're both even numbers. I know that 2 goes into them. 2 goes into 24 12 times, and it goes into 18. It goes into 36 18 times. Now, those are both even numbers, so I'm going to put another line. I know 2 will go into both of those numbers, and 2 will go into 6 2 will go into 12 6 times, and then 2 will go into 18 9 times. Now, I have one even number, the other one's not, so 2 will not go in there, but I do know that 6 and 9 both have 3 as a factor. So 3 goes into 6 2 times, and then 3 goes into 9 3 times. Now, I look down here, and I know that there's no common factors between 2 and 3 because they're both prime numbers. So what I do is I look along the side column. I have a 2, a 2, and a 3. And like up here, I multiply them together. 2 times 2 times 3 is 12. Therefore, the GCF of 24 and 36 is 12. And that should work for 3 numbers as well, to find those repeated numbers that come on all 3 lists. That'll help you figure out greatest common factor as well. So anyway, hopefully you understand one of those 3 methods. Hopefully you can get some practice and become comfortable with one of those 3. Have a great night. Talk to you guys soon.